Hello students, hope all of you are fine and well. Myself, Dr. Brishti Datta, as a part of the initiative taken up by the Zoological Society of Assam for the benefit of the students in a fruitful way, I am coming to you through this online presentation. This is a step by the society to reach out those students who are pursuing graduation in zoology. Today, I am going to discuss a very important part of developmental biology, that is spermatogenesis. I will try to give a detailed idea of this process called spermatogenesis. Now let us go for the discussion. Now let us have a look at the learning outcomes. Hope this discussion will help you to certain extent to have an idea about various aspects of spermatogenesis. Keeping this in view, the presentation has been designed and the following points will be focused in the present discussion. What is spermatogenesis? That is the definition of spermatogenesis. Site of spermatogenesis, that is the places where the various events of spermatogenesis occur. Phases of spermatogenesis, that is the various events of spermatogenesis. A very important phase or part of spermatogenesis, without which the process cannot be completed, is spermiation. Structure of a mature spermatozoa or sperm cell. Journey of a sperm after spermatogenesis. And the hormonal control of spermatogenesis. Now let us go for the whole discussion. Now let us start the discussion with the most important part or most important point, is what is spermatogenesis. Because before going to the whole discussion, it is very important to know the base of the discussion, and here it is important to know actually what is it. Let us know. The process by which male gametes or spermatozoa are formed is termed as spermatogenesis. Generally, sexual reproduction relies on meiosis to shuffle the genes so that new combination of genes occur in each generation, allowing some of the offspring to survive in constantly changing environment, for which male and female of the same species require to combine their genes in order to produce new individuals. For this purpose, male reproductive system produces and sustains male gametes or spermatozoa by the process of spermatogenesis and deliver to the female reproductive tract. The present discussion will be focused on the production of male gamete, that is spermatozoa, and this presentation will give you a clear description of the whole process. Now let us go for the whole discussion. Now let us have an idea about the site of spermatogenesis, where the various events of spermatogenesis occur. The actual site of spermatogenesis is testis or male reproductive organ. The testis consist of an outer fibrous layer as shown in the figure called tunica albuginea, enclosing vascularized tissue containing Leydig cells and solid seminiferous cords. Leydig cells are some specialized glandular cells which are also known as interstitial cells, and they play an important role in the process of spermatogenesis, and about these Leydig cells will be discussed later in this presentation. Seminiferous cords comprise of a basement membrane, Sertoli cells, and prospermatogonial germ cells. Here, it is very important to mention that the Sertoli cells are actually some nerve cells arising from the basement membrane. They provide support and nourishment to the developing germ cells and spermatozoa. Testis size increases slowly but steadily. The prospermatogonial germ cells undergo only limited mitotic proliferation and contribute little to this growth. At puberty or sexual maturity, there is a sudden increase in testicular size to which all parts, as mentioned above, contribute. Thus, solid seminiferous cord canalize to give rise to tubules, which are in the form of lobules and which are termed as seminiferous tubules, as shown in the figure. Intratubular Sertoli cells increase in size and activity. The germ cells resume mitotic activity and begin the process of spermatozoal formation. The Leydig cells, as mentioned, involved in the endocrine secretion. The Leydig cells can be seen in the figure, and this activity increases sharply. About this activity will be discussed later in the presentation. Phases of spermatogenesis. The process of spermatogenesis includes different types of cell divisions, that is mitosis and meiosis. Hence, spermatogenesis has three main elements which occur sequentially in the following phases. The first phase is the mitotic proliferation, producing large number of cells. The second phase is the meiotic division, resulting in genetic diversity and halves the chromosome number. Third is the cytodifferentiation, which is the most important phase of the whole process, resulting in the chromosome packaging. Now let us discuss phase by phase the whole process. Now students, let us discuss the first phase of spermatogenesis, it is mitotic proliferation. The prospermatogonial germ cells of the immature testes are reactivated at puberty, that is sexual maturity, to enter a series of mitotic divisions in the basal compartment of the seminiferous tubule. Hence, they are also termed or known as spermatogonial stem cells. From this reservoir of self-regenerating spermatogonia, groups of cells with distinct morphology emerge. That is, those cells will be distinctly, can be seen by their morphology or can be distinguished by their morphology, and these cells are termed as A1 spermatogonia. Each of these spermatogonia undergoes a limited number of mitotic division, producing a clone of cells, and the mitotic division occurs at definite time interval, and the number of mitotic division is characteristic for a species and can be determined or can determine the total number of cells in the clone. For example, in case of rat, there are 6 divisions leading to the maximum clone size 64 cells. The morphology of the cells produced at each mitotic division is distinguishable from the parent cells so that it can be subclassified into different types of spermatogonia. For example, in rat, the spermatogonia can be subclassified as type A1 to type A4 subsequently, that is A1, A2, A3 and A4, produced during the first 3 mitoses, intermediate type of spermatogonia after 4th mitosis, and type B spermatogonia after the subsequent 5th division. At this point, it is very important to be noted that A4 spermatogonia have 3 options. First, they can undergo self-renewal that is through which they can produce another A4 type of spermatogonia. Secondly, they can undergo cell death, which is also termed as apoptosis. And thirdly, they can be differentiated into type B spermatogonia as just discussed. All type B type of spermatogonia give rise to the resting primary spermatocytes. It is to be noted remarkably that during this mitotic phase of spermatogenesis, although nuclear division is complete successfully, the cytoplasmic division, which is also termed as cytokinesis, is incomplete. Thus, all the primary spermatocytes derived from one type of spermatogonium are linked together by their cytoplasmic bridges, constituting a large syncytium. This syncytial organization persists throughout the further meiotic divisions, and individual cells are only released during the last stages of spermatogenesis as mature spermatozoa, which will be discussed in the later part of this presentation. The process of spermatogenesis during puberty or sexual maturity is regulated by the synthesis of a particular type of protein family called bone morphogenic protein family, termed as BMP8B, by the spermatogenic germ cells. When BMP8B reaches a critical concentration, the germ cells begin to differentiate. The differentiating cells produce high level of BMP8B, which can then further stimulate their differentiation. The spermatogonia migrate among Sertoli cells, about which already mentioned towards the central lumen of the seminiferous tubules, as shown in the figure. These cells are named after Enrico Sertoli, an Italian physiologist and histologist who discovered these cells in 1865. Sertoli cells are large with overflowing cytoplasmic envelopes that surrounds the developing spermatogonia all the way to the central lumen of the tubule. These cells are also called as nerve cells, are part of seminiferous tubules arising from the basement membrane. They, that is Sertoli cells, form specialized complexes called tight junction, as shown in the figure, dividing the seminiferous tubules into two compartments, namely basal compartment and abluminal compartment. Basal compartments where spermatogonia reside, and the abluminal compartment which is occupied by the differentiating germ cells. Now let us go for the next phase, that is meiotic phase, where the resting primary spermatocytes will undergo meiotic division as discussed below. Primary spermatocytes prepare to enter into the meiotic division. They show and can be identified by characteristic morphologies of their nuclei with characteristic state of their chromatins during different steps of this phase. At this point, I'd like to mention that meiotic division or meiosis is divided into two phases, as all of you know. The first meiotic division or first meiosis, and second meiotic division or second meiosis. The first meiotic division is prolonged due to the prolonged prophase, as the prophase of first meiosis is composed of 5 subphases: lactotin, zygotin, pectitin, diplotin and diakinesis. During this prolonged process, the spermatids are sensitive to damage and widespread degeneration can occur at this stage. The first meiotic division ends with the separation of homologous chromosome to opposite pole of the meiotic spindle and ultimately leads to the division of each primary spermatocyte to two haploid secondary spermatocytes. Thus, as discussed, it can be seen that two secondary spermatocytes containing single set or haploid number of chromosome, that is half number of chromosome as in the parental cells. Secondary spermatocytes are short-lived and undergo second meiotic division to produce haploid early round spermatids. The whole cluster of spermatids is linked syncytically by their cytoplasmic bridges. With the formation of early round spermatids, the important chromosomal reduction events of the spermatogenesis are completed. Now let us have a look at this figure. It is a schematic diagram showing the formation of the syncytial clones of the germ cells, including the journey of different types of spermatogonia to the mature spermatozoa via primary and secondary spermatocytes as shown in the figure clearly. During the division from type A1 spermatogonia to spermatids, the cells move further and further away from the basal lamina of the seminiferous tubule and cluster to the lumen. Thus, each type of cell can be found in a particular layer of the tubule. The spermatids are located at the border of the lumen where they lose their cytoplasmic connection and differentiate into spermatozoa. Duration of development or progression from spermatogonial cell up to the spermatozoa may vary species-wise. For example, in human, it is 65 days. Now let us go for the most important phase of spermatogenesis, that is cytodifferentiation, which is also termed as spermiogenesis, where the round spermatid undergoes series of various changes to become mature, elongated, streamlined spermatozoa. But how? Let us discuss. The most visible and major changes during spermatogenesis occur during a remarkable cytoplasmic remodeling of the spermatid called spermiogenesis. During spermiogenesis, the haploid round spermatid changes shape from round to elongated through an extraordinary series of events because the haploid spermatid is a round, unflagellated cell that looks nothing like the mature spermatozoa and undergoes spermiogenesis to prepare it for fertilization. For fertilization to occur, the sperm has to meet and bind with the egg, and for the same, these changes are necessary. First step involves the construction of the acrosomal vesicle from the Golgi apparatus. The initiation of acrosome development begins with the coated vesicle budding from the Golgi network to produce proacrosomal granule. The Golgi sorts and traffics these vesicles to the nuclear surface as the acrosome gradually spreads over the nuclear membrane. The acrosome forms a cap that covers the sperm nucleus. The acrosome contains several enzymes similar to those found in lysosomes of a typical cell, including hyaluronidase and some proteolytic enzymes which play an important role in allowing sperm to enter the ovum and fertilize it. As the acrosomal cap is formed, the nucleus rotates so that the cap will be facing the basal membrane of the seminiferous tubule. This rotation is very important because the tail of the developing spermatozoa will face the lumen. The round spermatid nucleus polarizes to one side of the cell and soon after begins to deviate from spherical shape and sperm head shaping begins. Normal sperm nuclear morphology relies on sperm DNA and some special structure that determine the characteristic species-specific sperm head shape. Thus, two special structures help in shaping the sperm head called acroplasm and manchet. Acroplasm acts as a mechanical scaffold transmitting forces into nucleus. It is an F-actin keratin cytoskeletal plate which anchors acrosome to the nucleus. On the other hand, manchet is a microtubule based structure playing an important role in head shaping as well as in sperm cell development. As the nucleus positioned and the acrosome begins to form on one pole of the nucleus, the pair of centrioles called proximal and distal composing the centrosome of the round spermatid move toward the opposite pole to initiate axoneme formation. As shown in the figure, with respect to the position of the nucleus, proximal and distal centrioles can be seen. The axoneme arises from the distal centriole and gradually extends out in the cytoplasm. Axoneme is a central microtubule based component of the flagella consisting of a central pair of microtubules surrounded by 9 outer doublet microtubules as shown in the figure. After the initiation of axoneme formation, secondary structures are assembled during elongation. Now, it is to be noted that what are secondary structures? Actually, these are outer dense fibers, the fibrous sheet and the mitochondrial sheet which are not found in motile cilia of other cells. Mitochondria accumulate around the axoneme in a spiral manner, forming the mitochondrial sheet, which is involved in ATP generation needed for sperm motility as shown in the figure. The outer dense fibers rich in keratin function to facilitate motility and the fibrous sheet provides a rigidity to the flagella. Now let us have a look at the figure. This is a schematic diagram showing various stages of the spermiogenesis, starting from an immature round spermatid to a mature elongated spermatozoa, where various changes of a spermatid as discussed above clearly can be seen up to the accumulation of mitochondria and other structures. The cytoplasm and nucleus become too much condensed and the cell is roughly divided into three parts: head containing the nucleus and the acrosome, middle piece containing the axoneme and associated structures as already discussed, and the tail. Axis of cytoplasm termed as residual bodies separated and left in Sertoli cells. One major change in the nucleus at this stage is replacement of the histones by protamines. Now, what are protamines? Protamines are relatively small proteins that are over 60% arginine. During spermiogenesis, the nucleosome dissociates and the histones of the haploid nucleus are eventually replaced by protamines, which causes the complete shutdown of transcription to the nucleus, facilitating to assume an almost crystalline structure. The resulting spermatozoa then enters the lumen of the tubule. Now come to the important part of spermiogenesis, without which the process of spermiogenesis is not completed. It is the spermiation, which is a part of the spermiogenesis, or an event following the elongation of a round spermatid to elongated spermatozoa. It is the process by which elongated spermatid undergoes their final remodeling and ultimately released from the seminiferous epithelium into the lumen prior to their passage to epididymis. Now, what is epididymis? Actually, epididymis is a long coiled tube that stores the sperm for further release from the testis and appears as a curved structure on the posterior margin of the testis. Elongated spermatid rapidly translocated to the luminal edge. Large amount of cytoplasm is condensed and shed as residual bodies. Once this remodeling is completed, the spermatids are rapidly released by Sertoli cells in a process known as disengagement. Now, let us have a look at the structure of sperm. This is a figure showing the various parts of a matured spermatozoa or sperm cell. It is composed of a head. It shows highly condensed nucleus whose anterior portion is occupied by acrosome. It often consumes a species-specific shape, contains hydrolyzing enzymes that are released from sperms during acrosome reaction. The shape and size of the head is species-specific. For example, in case of human, it is 3 micron or 5 micron. The middle piece can be seen clearly in the picture. It consists of a central axoneme. Mitochondria are wrapped around the axoneme. And the last portion is tail. It contains the motor apparatus of the sperm. The initial part is some extent thick, as shown in the figure, and called the principal piece, and the rest part is thread-like and vibratile. Now let us discuss about the journey of sperm or spermatozoa in epididymis. At the end of spermatogenesis, spermatozoa are propelled by cilia in the inner wall of the rete testis towards the epididymis. About epididymis, I have given a brief idea, but now come to what is rete testis. As shown in the figure, it is an anastomosing network of delicate tubules located in the hilum of the testicles, as shown in the figure. Inside the epididymis, certain enzymatic reactions occur that allow spermatozoa to be fully matured and functional and motile. The sperm or spermatozoa have been in the epididymis for several hours, which vary species-wise. For example, in human, it is 18 to 24 hours. If no ejaculation occurs during this storage period in the epididymis, the phagocytes will destroy millions of older sperm in storage. Now, let us briefly discuss about the hormonal control of spermatogenesis. This is the schematic diagram which shows a brief summary of the hormonal control of the process of spermatogenesis, where it is clearly seen that hypothalamus releases gonadotropin releasing hormone, which in turn stimulates anterior pituitary to release luteinizing hormone or LH and follicle stimulating hormone or FSH. Luteinizing hormone stimulates Leydig cells to secrete testosterone, which is essential for growth and division of testicular germinal cells. Follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the Sertoli cells because without this stimulation, the conversion of the spermatid to a mature spermatozoa or sperm cell, that is the process of spermiogenesis, is not possible or will not occur. The Sertoli cells secrete androgen binding protein or ABP in short. The production of ABP is controlled by testosterone and follicle stimulating hormone. ABP or androgen binding protein helps in concentrating testosterone in seminiferous tubules and stimulates spermatogenesis. And another hormone named inhibin secreted by Sertoli cells prevents over-secretion of follicle stimulating hormone. At this point, I'd like to mention that the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone diminishes with the increase in the process of spermatogenesis. With the secretion of excess of testosterone, there is automatic negative feedback effect. The testosterone secreted by the testes in response to luteinizing hormone has the reciprocal effect of inhibiting the anterior pituitary gland secretion of luteinizing hormone. Most of this inhibition probably results from a direct effect of testosterone on the hypothalamus to decrease the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone. This effect in turn causes a corresponding decrease in secretion of both luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone by the anterior pituitary, and the decrease in luteinizing hormone reduces the secretion of testosterone by the testes, and the level of testosterone returns to the normal level. Besides the above mentioned hormones, there are certain growth factors which play an important role in the process of spermatogenesis as discussed. Seminiferous growth factor, which binds to the membranes of spermatozoa and protects the cells from apoptosis. Bone morphogenic protein family or BMP family produced within the germ cells themselves, which is essential for male cell proliferation at puberty and maintenance of the germ cells in the adult. About this protein, BMP8B, already discussed above. EFS related molecules, they phagocyte residual cytoplasm left out from spermiogenesis and release. Another growth factor is cyclin, plays a key role in cell cycle regulation and governing both meiotic and mitotic division during spermatogenesis. SOX8 protein, product of adult Sertoli cells, which is a critical regulator of Sertoli cell functions. In this way, these growth factors also play a very important role during the process of spermatogenesis. These are the suggested readings. Developmental Biology, the 6th edition by Gilbert. Cell Biology by Islam. Developmental Biology, a very short introduction by Al Walpott. Handbook of Fertility, Nutrition, Diet, Lifestyle and Reproductive Health by R.R. Watson. Textbook of Medical Physiology by Guyton and Hall, and Essential Reproduction by M.F. Johnson. Students, hope this discussion was helpful for you, and if you got it helpful or think that you will be benefited by this to certain extent, then please like and subscribe our channel. Any query? Then please drop your queries via the given mail ID. Thank you.